This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. As always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. So much to get to today as we'll look ahead to another one of the big college football games coming up Saturday. Penn State hosting Oregon. Big battle inside the Big Ten, and we'll see the Ducks heading to Happy Valley in the whiteout and what they can do in that rematch of the Big Ten title game. Also, a look at UFC for Saturday, a couple baseball plays, and recap last night. But first, though, Lee, let's start with the blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
New York Yankees rallied last night to beat the Chicago White Sox, clinch a playoff berth. So the Yankees back in the postseason. Let's crown Aaron Boone. Good job by him. But Max Fried, though, his strikeout prop tonight, what do you like with him against the Sox tonight, Lee?
Good job by him. I mean, I'd love to be the manager, Kevin, of the New York Yankees. I mean, just fill out the lineup card. If a guy's injured or two, you got some ex-All-Stars ready to step in, or the farm system is loaded still, and you plug in someone there for a night or two. So if I had $300 million, I think that's what they have, them and the Dodgers. I'd be pretty good too. So I talked to a lot of friends who are Yankees fans. They're not too pleased with the job he's doing, but they do have a number one stud pitcher, and that is Max Fried. And we've been backing him before. He can strike out some batters, and certain teams he owns. So he's now tonight over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 145. There's still a chance they can win the division. So not like they're going to pull him after 3 or 4 innings. My algorithm has Fried here a full strikeout above his prop of 5.5 today. He has hit the mark in 3 of the last 5 games he's pitched in. And the last time he faced the White Sox, struck out 11 here. White Sox are below middle of the pack here in strikeouts. So I'm going to keep taking advantage of it. They're still in it, the Yankees. They want to get him, I think, at least 6 innings. No reason he can't get 6, 7, 8 strikeouts, or maybe even more here. We're going to go with Max Fried over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 145 for the New York Yankees tonight. That's going to be my blowout special, number 1.
And the Yankees, again, in the postseason. Seattle's in the postseason. So with that being said, we haven't done a lot of awards talk on here. But now, Lee, let's transition into a hidden gem.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
It's been a back and forth all season long with Aaron Judge of the Yankees, Cal Raleigh of the Mariners, as far as the MVP, who would win it. And Judge missed some time due to injury, and Aaron Judge has fantastic numbers. But now it's down to, at FanDuel, minus 115 for Cal Raleigh to win the MVP of the American League, along with Aaron Judge. And Aaron Judge was a huge favorite last week, but still, Lee, I'm going to back Cal Raleigh to win the MVP after seeing this number plummet the way it has, or go in Cal Raleigh's direction. Aaron Judge does lead the American League in batting average. Aaron Judge has a lot of great offensive numbers, but what Cal Raleigh has done this season for the Seattle Mariners, he has the most home runs in Major League history for a catcher, most home runs for a switch hitter, and he passed, I think, Johnny Bench in one of them and Mickey Mantle in the other category. That's pretty good, I would say. And he's going to lead Seattle to a division title, and they haven't won a division in many years. So I just think that Aaron Judge can still be great. He's won 2 MVPs in his career, but I think it's Cal Raleigh's time and what he's done. And yes, the Mariners do have a lot of bats around him, but so does Aaron Judge have in the Yankees lineup. Like, they're good too. So you can't just say Aaron. This isn't basketball where it's one guy carrying the whole team. I just think that the way it's gone, Cal Raleigh's going to end up winning this award. You still lay the minus 115. He will end up cashing, and I think we'll see that for the American League MVP.
Oh, I agree with you. I bet it also. We were both on it. You alerted me to it. I don't really look at awards a whole lot. I'm not one of those kind of guys, but if there's value, there's still a lot of value. I mean, it's not like he's 5, 7, or 8 to 1 here. You got to lay, $700 or $800 to win 100. I wouldn't do that. You never know the distribution of the voters, where they are. But I think he is clearly the favorite and should win. And most of the season, when he did his most damage, he didn't have any protection behind him. It wasn't until they made 2 trades with Arizona to get 2 guys with power hitting behind him where he got some protection. So he carried the team for a long time. And then those guys came over, and now they've done it as a team. They have a super pitching staff, but he is the guy this year. He's been the story in Major League Baseball. If he doesn't get it, I'm going to be pissed off.
I just think that, Judge can still have a really good season and good analytics and everything behind him. But at the same time, what Cal Raleigh has done, I mean, you look at all these home runs. Yeah, the batting average isn't there, but I mean, you can't win the Triple Crown these guys. That's why you see very few Triple Crowns. Like, there's gonna be guys can hit a bunch of homers, get RBIs, but also not have a high batting average. I just think that what he's done for Seattle, it's not empty. That's what it is. It's not like A-Rod years ago with the Rangers, where hitting 50-something home runs in a last-place team. This is a guy that's going to lead Seattle, where Houston was winning that division most of the season. Seattle has jumped them. They're going to end up winning the division. They're up 4 with 6 to go. So I just think that the way the numbers have skewed in his favor, that he's going to end up winning the award when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and how can you, unless you're a Yankees fan or a fan of these other teams, how can you not root for him, and how can you not root for Seattle? I mean, they've been, the happy loser for so many years. I mean, I know they had A-Rod, they had Ken Griffey, they had Randy Johnson for a while, but I think they won one division title. I think that was it in 2001. I mean, when they started, I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s.
No, late 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, just, they had a bunch of like misfits. I went to a game there actually on my honeymoon. They had like 18,000 to see Randy Johnson pitch. I mean, whoever's been a faithful fan all those years, they deserve it. So I'll be rooting for him. I'll definitely be rooting for Cal Raleigh to win the award, the AL MVP, and my money's behind him too.
I mean, I think since they left the Kingdome and they went to that new stadium, Safeco, now it's T-Mobile, that they had that 116 win season in 01 or whatever it was, and have done nothing. They had Ichiro, and that was it. They did nothing for a very long time. Now, I want to shift to last night's games, Lee, and it was only 2. We had a push with the Mercury in the first quarter, +2 against the Lynx. Phoenix actually came back and won that game. They were down big and came back and won to even that series at 1 apiece. So that's gotten interesting. People think it's going to be Lynx and Aces in the finals, and the Mercury ended up winning. So now that's a 1-1 series. But unfortunately, we got the push because Minnesota hit a shot with 7 seconds left to break the tie. So push is better than a loss, but also not as good as a win.
True. At least, if it was our guy or our girl that needed to make a shot, she probably would have missed the shot. So we'll take a push. Like I said, it's nothing happening. It's like kissing your sister.
Yeah, there's nothing there, but luckily got a win in the other game. Bobby Witt Jr., 2 hits, had a hit late to get over the 1.5 bases prop in their win over the Angels last night. So the good news is Bobby Witt Jr. just continuing to be on a roll. I feel like every time you've taken him, he's gone over his prop.
I think so too. Yeah, he's I don't know if I'd take him, the next couple nights, but like I said, I think it was maybe the last really good spot to take him, and had a single to start off the game, a double in the 8th, and he's a ball player. I wish more players were like him, a throwback that do everything, not just, hit. He fields, he runs the bases, plays with energy. He's one of the 8 or 10 players in Major League Baseball I like watching. I like betting on too.
Now, you had a contest that you had yesterday as far as naming a former teammate, and what were the results of that?
Well, most of the guesses were wrong. I mean, everyone uses AI now to try to figure it out, and some people must think that I'm really old, but I'm not really old. They guessed a player. I think it's Ernie Jennings or something like that, and he was a receiver. He was in the top 3. I think he was number 1. But he played in 1968 to 1970. I played when I was I graduated high school in 81. So the receiver we were talking about graduated in 1980 from your high school, Miami Sunset High School, which on one team had 2 and should have had 3 NFL players. And I think they went 5-5, a little before your time, but had Fuad Revez, kicker, for the Vikings and Dolphins. Alan Weingrad, a friend of mine, and his brother played with me at my high school, Palmer. And he played for the Packers and held off Tony Mandarich for many years, for a couple of years as a starter right tackle, and then actually won a ring for Dallas. And the third one was my receiver growing up. His name is Mike Kirby. Mike Kirby went to the Air Force Academy, wanted to go to Miami or Notre Dame. Neither school recruited him, and ended up the number 3 receiver all time. Actually, I think he would have been number 2, except for after he ended up graduating. I think a few years later, he graduated in 84. They started including bowl games, and he had a couple of big bowl games, but he was number 3 receiver all time for Air Force. He's the number 1 punt returner as far as yards all time for the Air Force Academy. And I think they beat Notre Dame like 3 or 4 years in a row. So they were at one time really good, and he was a big part of it, and he was my receiver. So that's the correct answer. Mike Kirby, Kirby. I had a few people that answered it Kerby. I still gave him, the benefit of the doubt. So we did have 3 winners. I think there's total about 7 or 8 people that had it, but there's a lot of people that had, there was a defensive back like Johnny Johnson, like I said, mentioned the receiver from 68 to 70, and then a few others, kind of Carpenter. I mean, there was some crazy. There was even some people that were guessing players that played on Army and Navy. So they're not the same. Army, Navy, and Air Force, 3 separate colleges, 3 separate football teams. So fun to do it, and he was a big part of my success growing up.
Yeah, and Army, Navy, and Air Force, they will run the ball and cash as an underdog. That's what they do the best. So coming up, we do have a lot more to get to. We're going to look ahead to Oregon and Penn State, Big Ten battle coming up in Happy Valley on Saturday. Also, we're going to look at UFC in Australia, Down Under, coming up in just a little bit. That is all straight ahead. You're listening to Locked On Bets. Let's talk now about FanDuel, and that's right, NFL Week 4 right around the corner. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And what are your choices? A lot of choices. Again, Week 4, Cardinals-Seahawks kicks off Thursday night in Arizona, and you could bet on side, total money line in that game, player props in that game. If you want to go with Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, their props, anything at your disposal there. Also, with the award props, MVP, Buffalo's Josh Allen trying to repeat as most valuable player. He is currently the favorite at FanDuel. Lamar Jackson's right behind him. The Bills are the favorite to win the Super Bowl at FanDuel. Ravens still hanging around even at 1-2. Eagles up there as well. They have a big game against Tampa Bay coming up on Sunday. So many choices you have at FanDuel as far as the NFL goes, with the games, with the player props, with the awards, all of it. And it's just one place to go. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. We continue here, Locked On Bets on a Wednesday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. And now, Lee, we go to another, We're going to go to another blowout because it's time to go down under with the UFC Perth.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
Goldberg and Reyes coming up on Saturday as part of that card. UFC Perth, Lee, and you've done well with the UFC fight. So what do you have with this one?
All right. So a lot of people have said UFC has been kind of boring. Yeah, been kind of boring. Hasn't been real exciting. There's no one name that has really excited the UFC fans. And maybe July 4th next year at the White House is going to be the card that brings it back. But this main fight here in UFC Australia kind of typifies what the UFC has been. But I'm going to take advantage of it because I think there's value. So we have Carlos Olberg, and he's 13-1, minus 250, nicknamed Black Jag. He's from New Zealand, 6'4", 77-inch reach. He is fighting Dominic the Devastator Reyes. Both about same age. Olberg 34, Reyes 35, and Reyes is 15-4. So you're saying, well, the records, Olberg's a little bit better. Same height, same reach, both 6'4", 77-inch reach. Why would you go with Olberg? Well, first of all, he's from New Zealand, so he's going to be the home favorite. They're going to be going crazy there. A lot of New Zealand fans will travel for this event in Perth. He has only lost his first fight ever in the UFC. That was back in March of 2021. And he gassed, and then he got knocked out. I think he's learned a lot since then. He is not exciting. His style will bore you. I mean, he'll do a little bit of everything. He will strike some. He will grapple. He'll hold the guy against the cage. He'll get on top of him. He'll slowly but surely get position and then try to go for a submission. But bottom line is I think he's getting better. And Dominic Reyes, I don't see that improvement in his game here. So I don't think Olberg is going to make mistakes here. It's a 5-round fight because it's a feature fight, or expend that unwanted energy here. And just don't think Reyes is up to his level. So sometimes it's Reyes is maybe staying the same or coming down, and Olberg at 34. Sometimes you get it at this level, the light heavies, you get them. They're still getting better and better. So I think he's learning his craft here, fighting at home. It may be 3-2 in rounds or 4-1, or he might get a late knockout or a submission. Just think he's the better fighter. He's going to find a way to win. So we're going to go with a blowout special number 2 in UFC Fight Night from Australia. We're going to go with Carlos, the Black Jag Olberg, minus 250 over Dominic the Devastator Reyes. Think he gets the money for us.
Yeah, and looking forward to that card coming up on Saturday from Australia. And again, Lee has done very well with these fights, so we'll see how that one goes coming up on Saturday. Let's now go back to Major League Baseball and the wild card race in the National League. Only one spot remaining, but it's going to come down to the final day likely, and we'll see how that goes. Let's go with our second hidden gem.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
All right, Lee, our second hidden gem. All right, so the Pirates and the Reds, they meet tonight in Cincinnati. Reds were off a big 4-game sweep of the Cubs, and then the Reds stubbed their toe against Pittsburgh last night. Pirates got 4 in the top of the second. Reds got 2 in the bottom of the second, and that was it. And Pittsburgh won the game 4-2, so the Pirates now have won 3 straight. Paul Skeens will start for the Pirates, and Hunter Green goes for the Reds. So both the aces on the mound tonight. Paul Skeens basically has the NL Cy Young locked up. So really, no matter what happens tonight, he pitches a no-hitter. He gives up 10 runs. I don't think it's going to matter. He's going to win the Cy Young. And he's a short underdog here. I always like to say, Lee, I don't like backing teams in must-win spots. The Mets won last night, beating the Cubs. The Mets are the third wild card team currently. Reds are a game behind. Diamondbacks are a game behind after they rallied past the Dodgers last night. But I do like the spot with Hunter Green. He's 10-4-4 in the first 5 innings this season, and 7 starts since returning from the IL. 6 times he has either led or tied through 5 innings. So usually it's gone well. I understand that Paul Skeens has pitched well against Cincinnati in his career and hasn't given up a run in his last 3 starts against them. But I think the Reds, after a slow start last night, and you don't normally see Skeens at this number, but that kind of says something. Let's go with the Reds in the first 5 innings tonight, laying about 120 against the Pirates as our second hidden gem.
I like it. And something also to note, do you think maybe they pulled? I don't think they're going to let Skeens pitch 7-8 innings tonight. I mean,
no, there's no, you're out of the playoffs. Like, where
right.
do you?
I mean, let him go 5-6 innings if I was the manager. And we've noticed they have pulled him a few times over his last 5-6 outings. So they're not going to win a division. They're not going to the playoffs, Pittsburgh. Why take a chance he gets hurt? You know, this will be the last time he pitches, and Let him go out there, throw 4, 5, maybe 6 innings. If he gets pulled early, that bullpen, I think the Reds can get to him. But I think they're going to play with the lead. I think they're going to find a way to have the lead and hold the lead. Might be a low-scoring game, but I think you're on the right side here, Kevin.
Yeah, and Cincinnati before last night, they were 4-0-1 in the first 5 innings, the previous 5 games. So they have been playing well. And yeah, they had one bad Braves Singer, one bad inning last night in the second inning, gave up 4 runs, but that was it for the Pirates. Pirates, at least they're showing a little bit of heart here down the stretch. We'll see how it goes with Paul Skeens. Could be his last start of the season. They play in Atlanta to wrap up. I don't know if he'll get one last start or this will be it for him. But and also the Reds too. They need to win out, and they didn't get help from the Cubs last night, who blew that lead to the Mets. So New York still hanging on to that 1-game lead. Coming up, we will take a look at college football and the Big Ten. Oregon, Penn State. Still weird to say Oregon is the Big Ten. I don't care how many years it's been, but very, very, very big game between these two. Also, first big test for Penn State. First time they're seeing them since the Big Ten championship. So all of that is straight ahead as we continue right here. You are listening to Locked On Bets. Locked On Bets continues. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports, and it is Oregon and Penn State among the big games coming up Saturday in college football. Penn State has not really been tested so far this season. It's not new. They normally don't play a lot of big-name teams out of conference. But now you play a big team in Oregon, and we'll see what the Ducks can do as, Lee, they fly east to take on Penn State for our lock of the day.
Open it, open it, open it! Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
Oregon took care of Penn State in the Big Ten title game last year. So now the rematch. Jimmy Franklin, he doesn't beat a lot of teams in the top 5. We know that. So we'll see if things change. That whiteout coming up Saturday in Happy Valley. Lee, what do you like with this game? Nittany Lions a favorite at home against the Ducks.
And a weekend where there are a lot of huge games. I mean, number 2 versus number 3. This is the nightcap. This is the game. Let's be honest. There's some good games, Ole Miss, LSU. You're an SEC fan, but this is the game we've been waiting for. We're going to find out if Penn State, who they ended up adding some pieces here, wide receiver, Kyron Hudson, Trevor Pena from Syracuse, and they're trying to gear up. They're trying to win a national title, and they're going to do it against a team they played for the Big Ten championship last year and Oregon. Kind of a weird situation last year when they played in the Big Ten championship game. The loser actually benefited. And I kind of figured it out when I was watching the game. Penn State, because Penn State got to be on one side of the bracket, and Oregon, who did they have to face? They had to face the Ohio State Buckeyes for a second time on a neutral field after beating them at home earlier in the season. So Oregon was really good. They had an experienced quarterback. Now they're facing Penn State a year later. A lot of the pieces are there still for Penn State, both of their star running backs, their quarterback, Drew Lar, also obviously their head coach, James Franklin. Now, the thing that scares you, if you're going to bet Penn State, is James Franklin, big games, terrible. Drew Lar, big games, usually doesn't show up. If they don't do it this time, it's now or never. Not next year, later this year. Drew Lar is going to graduate. The pressure is on them, but they're playing at home here. This Oregon team, with their quarterback, young, and I think that this might be, the moment might be too big. I don't think they've been tested either, just like Penn State hasn't been tested. In the game last year, Penn State did run for 292 yards in that Big Ten championship game and found a way to lose, 45-37. Oregon's run defense, 50th in the country. I think they can be had here. Dante Moore, like I said, young quarterback. I think he's talented for Oregon, but how's he going to perform in a hostile environment? And it is going to be loud, over 100,000 fans in this whiteout. Penn State's defense. Why do I think they're better? Well, they added Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles was the defensive coordinator for Ohio State last year, and Jim Knowles faced Oregon twice. Faced them during the regular season at Oregon, and then he changed things around. Totally different look in the playoffs, and he shut the Oregon Ducks down with a future NFL quarterback. So I think Jim Knowles is the difference here. Home field, maybe a little bit also. I wouldn't be picking Penn State on the road, but I'm going to say Drew Allar, not saying they're winning a national title. They finally get over the hump at home, laying 3 against the Oregon Ducks in prime time. It's going to be my level 2 lock. I'm taking the Penn State Nittany Lions on Saturday night.
And also, too, Lee, with Oregon in their second year in the Big Ten, last year they were 4-0 on the road, all 4 wins in conference play. All 4 wins, they were double-digit favorites. So you were expected to blow these teams out. Michigan was down. Wisconsin was down. So now this is like your real first test on the road inside the Big Ten.
Yeah. I think Oregon's really good. I think they're really talented. Just think Penn State's just a little bit better. And I like Jim Knowles a lot. So no one's really going to talk about him. They'll talk about the jinx with James Franklin and talk about Drew Allar. Doesn't complete many passes down the field, but things change a little bit. And I think they've held back on showing really their entire playbook. I think they have the receivers that can do some damage against Oregon. So Oregon's good. Just think it's Penn State's time.
And very much looking forward to that game. And like you said, a lot of big games in college football coming up on Saturday. So with that being said, Lee, Paramount Sports, big NFL weekend, but also the biggest college football weekend we've seen so far this young season.
We're going to be ready to go. We call it Locktober. It's going to start. I know it's September. It's going to be 5 whole weeks through the end of October. You're going to get my phone service, and it's going to be $4.97. Use coupon code SAVE100. Comes out to less than $100 a week. So use coupon code SAVE100, SAVE100 in the coupon box where you see the offer for Locktober at ParamountSports.com. And tomorrow we're going to talk about hockey's coming up. Going to talk about some of our run here. We offered some midseason MLB bets and went 3-0 on those if you were a client. So tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit about hockey coming up and also where we are on some of those bets that already cashed for us.
And NHL right around the corner. Preseason's already underway. So looking to see if the Florida Panthers can win their 3rd straight Stanley Cup, which is something I would never thought I would say in my entire life. But it's pretty true. So we'll see if that comes up. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, as well as the podcast version of the show. You can find that on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcast, whatever platform that you find it. You can go there. And again, you can find Lee on X at Paramount Sports, myself at Rogers Picks. We'll be back with you coming up on Thursday. And guess what's coming up on Thursday? More football. Seahawks Cardinals coming up to kick off week 4 of the NFL. And again, for Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.